Hello and welcome to Brilliant Creations. Today I will be discussing fonts. Firstly, let's understand what a font is. A font is a set of type of one face. It's basically the way the letters on your computer look. An example of a font type is Arial. Along with Times New Roman, it is used very regularly. Now, Windows and Macintosh computers ship with quite a few choices of fonts. Let's open a Word document to take a closer look at these. Let's type a phrase without changing the font. I'm using Microsoft Word, so my default font is set to Calibri. In order to change this, I need to highlight the text I already typed and change it using the drop-down menu. You can also type the beginning of the font's name in order to jump to that letter of the alphabet. Now, there's nothing wrong with using the default fonts that ship with your operating system in order to draw up documents. However, be assured that all these fonts have been used time and time again. So if you really want to impress at your next business meeting, try choosing a font that is not standard. So what I'll show you today is how to find and download new fonts and install them on your system. Please note, a list of all the fonts websites I will be using will be added with this video if you wish to visit any of the sites, so don't worry to take any notes now. Let's use an example to give some context. You've been tasked to provide an inter-office memo detailing the next company function. As you can see, the only change to the formatting of this document was to increase the font size and change it from regular to bold or italic. Now, truthfully, this is about as drab as it gets. So, let's go font shopping. 1001 Free Fonts has got quite a few fonts for you to look through. It also has an intuitive interface and a high standard of fonts. Let's try looking under the Gothic section. I quite like AV Quest. Let's see how it'll look. To see how the font will look before you download it, click on Custom Preview. Here you now have the option to insert custom text. I quite like the way that looks, so I think I'll download it. Click on the Windows or the Mac download. When asked to, click Save. Here it might be important to mention that should you like the process of selecting and downloading fonts, you might become addicted. This is just a warning from one font addict to a prospective another. Therefore, it might be best to keep a separate folder of fonts in one location. This helps you to be able to distinguish fonts which you have installed over fonts which come standard with your operating system. Another point I'd like to mention is the fact that although the font sizes are small to the point of being negligible, they do put additional strain on your operating system. Try not to install too many fonts. However, installing up to about 100 fonts should not make a noticeable difference to your system. And yes, I have installed more than 100 at a time. In fact, I've installed 9,200 fonts in one shot before, and it didn't end very well for my computer. Moving on, our download is finished, so let's see what files we have available. We've downloaded a file called avquest.zip. Zip file can be extracted using Windows 7 itself, or WinZip, or the free 7-zip. I've added additional resources below for this. Okay, since I'm using 7-zip, a shortcut for this would be to right-click on the file and choose 7-zip extract here. Now that I've unzipped the file, we have a new file with an extension TTF. If you can't see the extension, don't worry, just delete the file that you currently have selected. That should leave you with the TTF file. To install the font, simply double-click. You'll be met with a preview, and from here you can click Install. Now let's go back to Word. You don't have to reopen Word in order for the new font to show. It should be available in the drop-down menu. Remember to always select your text first that you'd like to change. And there it is. Looks much better than Times New Roman or Arial. As a last note, let me show you how to uninstall fonts, just in case you get font happy and start slowing your computer down. Remember, only once you pass about 100 additional fonts should you start concerning yourself about slowing down your machine. Go to the Start menu, Computer, your C drive, Windows, Click on the folder called Fonts. Select the font you wish to uninstall and delete it. Be sure to only delete the fonts that you have installed and not any system fonts. This is where keeping a separate folder helps, as you can refer back to the names of the specific fonts you've downloaded. If you're not comfortable with this step, simply send a list of the fonts you wish to uninstall to your IT administrator and they will be able to help you remove them. In this tutorial we explain how to find, install and delete fonts to give some spice to your documents and correspondence. Be sure to join us next time for more educational tutorials.